Wait a minute, we don't have any screens.
That's okay. I got one.
I gotta look the other way. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The July 24th, 2025 meeting of the Medford Planning Commission will now come to order. Amanda, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Bennett. Mr. Bennington. Mr. Besco.
Here.
Mr. Culbertson.
Here.
Mr. McKechnie.
Here.
Mr. McManus.
Here.
Mr. Poehler.
Here.
Mr. Thomas.
Here.
And Mr. Wallen.
Here.
Thank
have
you.
roll call.
And we have a quorum. Okay, the order of business this evening will consist of consent calendar and written communications, minutes, public hearings, and reports. Item 20 is the consent calendar and written communications. Have the commissioners reviewed the consent calendar and the written communications? And if so, are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, may we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the consent calendar and written communications as submitted.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Amanda, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. McKechnie.
Yes.
Mr. Besco.
I was not here last week, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Mr. Culbertson.
Yes.
Mr. McManus.
Yes.
Mr. Poehler.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
And Mr. Wallen.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. All right, item 30 is the minutes. Have commissioners reviewed the minutes from the Planning Commission meeting of July 10th, 2025? And if so, are there any corrections? Okay, seeing none, the minutes will stand as submitted. All right. Item 40 is oral requests and communications from the audience. This is an opportunity for members of the audience to address the commission on matters that are not on tonight's agenda. If you wish to speak, please come forward to the podium, sign in, tell us your name and your concern. All right, not seeing anybody come forward, we will move on to public hearings. Tonight's public hearing will be conducted as a quasi-judicial hearing. If you plan to testify, please listen carefully to the following prepared statement regarding the procedural rules that govern these hearings. The statement will be read by Mr. Alan Moreland, Deputy City Attorney.
I'm going to explain the rules that govern these hearings. Before the hearing begins, city staff will give a report. The report will list the criteria that govern the city's decision. After the staff report, the hearing will be open for other speakers. The applicant will speak first and may ask for rebuttal time. Following the applicant, any other interested person will be allowed to speak. Any testimony, argument, or evidence you give must relate to the criteria listed in the staff report or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or land use regulations that you believe apply to the decision. If you fail to raise an issue or do not give the commission sufficient information so that the commission and any party can respond, you will not be able to appeal that issue to the Land Use Board of Appeals. If you do not raise constitutional or other issues about any proposed condition with specificity so that the commission can respond to that issue, you will not be able to bring a court action for damages. Before the hearing is closed, anyone who needs more time to present evidence must ask for more time. If you ask, the hearing will be continued or the record will be kept open, and you will have at least 7 days to present additional written evidence.
Thank you, Mr. Moreland. In order to proceed through this evening's agenda in a timely manner, except at the Commission's request, applicants giving testimony will be given 10 minutes to present their application. Individuals having comments about these applications will be given 3 minutes to respond, or 5 minutes if they represent a group or organization. And 5 minutes will be given to the applicant for rebuttal. Item 50.1, PUD 25-115, LDS 25-114. Consideration of a minor revision to Ponderosa Place subdivision tentative plat to allow Thin Leaf Street to be constructed as a half-street and change the segment of Thin Leaf Street north of Bristol Cone from a minor residential street to a residential lane. Also, a planned unit development is proposed to include the multifamily residential portion. Ponderosa Place is a 170-lot residential subdivision on approximately 49.2 acres within the Chilson Rise MD3A urbanization planning area. The subject properties are generally located south of Coker Butte Road, north of Owen Drive, and east of the Honolulu Lane terminus, within the SFR4, SFR6, MFR 15 zoning districts. The applicant is Hayden Homes LLC. The agent is CSA Planning Limited. The planner is Stefan Roenfeld. Excuse me. The applicant has requested to continue this item to the August 14th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. If there is anyone in the audience that has come to testify on this agenda item, please come forward now and the Planning Commission will hear your testimony. Please keep in mind, however, that your questions may be answered at the August 14th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. There will be no decisions made this evening on this agenda item. With that, is there anyone that wishes to come forward to testify? Okay, seeing none, may we have a motion to continue to the August 14th, 2025 meeting?
Mr. Chair, I move to continue PUD-25-115 and LDS-25-114 to the August 14th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Amanda, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes. Agenda item 50.2, SV 25-141, consideration of a request for the vacation of unimproved street rights-of-way for two 50-foot wide segments of Belknap Road located between Garfield Street and Center Drive, and then east of Center Drive to the terminus of the subject Belknap Road right-of-way. The subject rights-of-way are within the CH zoning district. The applicant is CEG Holdings LLC. The agent is CSA Planning Limited. The planner is Dustin Sievers. The applicant has requested to continue this item to the August 14th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. If there's anyone in the audience that has come to testify on this agenda item and cannot make the August 14th, 2025 meeting, please come forward and the Planning Commission will hear your testimony. Please keep in mind, however, your questions may be answered at the August 14th, 2025 meeting. There will be no decisions made this evening on this agenda item. Okay, seeing no one come forward, can we have a motion to continue this agenda item to the August 14th meeting?
Yes. Mr. Chair, I move to continue SV-25-141 to the August 14th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Amanda, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes. Agenda item 50.3, PUD 25-152, ZC 25-151, and LDS 25-150. Consideration of three consolidated requests: a preliminary PUD plan for Harrison Hills PUD, a 50-unit residential development, a zone change from SFR 00 to MFR 15, and a tentative subdivision plat to create 22 lots for single-family dwellings and 4 lots for multifamily residential use. The subject property is located on a single parcel totaling approximately 4.78 acres. The site is located on the east side of Springbrook Road at the easterly terminus of Hollyhock Drive. The applicant is David Hibbard. The agent is CSA Planning Limited. The planner is Stefan Rohnfeld. The applicant has requested to continue this item to the August 14, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. If there is anyone in the audience that has come to testify on this agenda item and cannot make the August 14th meeting, please come forward and the Planning Commission will hear your testimony at this time. Please keep in mind, however, that your questions may be answered at the August 14th, 2025 meeting. There will be no decisions made this evening on this agenda item. Okay, with that, seeing no one come forward, is there a motion to continue this agenda item to the August 14th meeting?
Mr. Chair, I move to continue PUD-25-152 and ZC 25-151 and LDS 25-150 to the August 14th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Amanda, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Agenda item 50.4, LDS 25-177, ZC 25-176. Proposal for Skyview Estates Subdivision Phase 3, a 38-lot subdivision on a 9.75 acre portion of a 94.49 acre property located on the east side of Crater Lake Avenue, approximately 600 feet north of Coker Butte Road. The proposal includes a zone change from SFR 00/EA to SFR 4, SFR 6, and CC on a 22.09 portion of the 94.49 acre property. The applicant is Skycrest Engineering Services, Inc. The agent is Richard Stevens and Associates, Inc. The planner is Kelly Aiken. Does any commissioner have a conflict of interest or ex parte contact to disclose regarding this application?
Chair,
Yes, sir.
I have potential conflict of interest, so I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone in attendance wish to question the commission as to conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Aiken, can we have a staff report, please?
Yes, and good evening, Commissioners. I am Kelly Aiken with your Planning Department. I have a relatively brief report for you this evening, if I can get myself together up here. So this is Skyview Estates Phase 3. So we have a subdivision and a zone change before you this evening. And earlier today, I sent out 3 new documents for you, revised conditions of approval. I made a couple different corrections there. The first correction I made was to correct Dalton Street to Denton Street, which is what the plat actually says. And then also to correct the exhibit references. I made a whole bunch of mistakes on the exhibits, but I specifically wanted to include the revised report from Public Works as Exhibit N-1. The revision there was to include and carry over the conditions of approval from the zone change into the subdivision document, and then also to update the conditions from the fire department as Exhibit P-1. The changes there were just to update the fire department comments on the revised plat that we had received. So as always, we'll start off with your authority and the approval criteria. These are Type 3 quasi-judicial decisions, and you are the approving body under the code. The approval criteria for land division are found in Land Development Code Section 10.202, subsection 5. And the zone change criteria are found in Section 10.204, subsection 2. The criteria have been analyzed and have been found to be either satisfied or not applicable in this particular case. Taking a look at the project summary, the overall project site, the parent parcel shown in red, is about 94.5 acres. The area we're talking about tonight, I have shown in yellow, and I have it in two pieces. The bottom part is, the bottom box is the Phase 3 subdivision. It also has some open space and ag buffer, and then the box on the top is going to be, is identified as reserve acreage. So we are in the north end of town here. We're on the east side of Crater Lake Avenue, the existing Crater Lake Avenue. You'll recognize that Lithium Motors, their complex at Coker Butte is just across Highway 62 to the west. The land to the east is outside the urban growth boundary. This property is the southernmost part of MD2B, so you'll recognize this square is the area that we're talking about this evening. It was approved by, this urbanization plan was approved by City Council back in September of 2022. MD2B is pretty big. It extends from Vilas all the way south to just a little bit north of Coker Butte Road. It has a mix of commercial and residential designations with a fairly large 16% open space requirement. And I wanted to point out that next week at your Site Plan and Architectural Commission meeting, we have an application moving forward to develop a portion of MD2B that's south of the current alignment. It's a fuel station and convenience store. Coming soon to a spec hearing near you. The comprehensive plan designation for the 94-acre site are urban residential, commercial, and service commercial. Tonight we're concerned about the parts that are commercial on the west side and then the urban residential on the east side. The zoning is currently SFR 00 with the exclusive agricultural overlay. And so this is the tentative plat for phases 1 and 2 that this commission approved back in March. It created 73 residential lots and 4 reserve acreage tracts. So what we're talking about tonight is tract F is proposed to be changed to community commercial, the zoning. And then tract I, we're going to see the development plan for. So that is the Phase 3 subdivision, the open space areas, and then the reserve acreage tract that I mentioned a minute ago. So I wanted to start by taking a closer look at tract I is what the former subdivision called it. So this black line is the border between phases 1 and 2 on the west and phase 3 on the east. The 39 proposed lots are designed to meet the development standards for the SFR 6 zone, so they meet all the development standards for area, width, depth, access, all the good things. Tract J is a pretty significant knoll, and I'll show you a hillside map in a minute. It's pretty interesting. And on this plat, it's identified as open space that is consistent with the adopted urbanization plan. Tract K on the north side is the remnant piece, identified as reserve acreage. And on the east is Tract L, which is the required agricultural buffer. So I wanted to talk about the buffer for just a moment. You may have noticed in my staff report, it's kind of an interesting situation, something we've not really come across before. Typically, so you see that Denton Street is proposed to continue to the north along the ag buffer, which is appropriate buffering between the urban and agricultural uses. But when we create a unit of land, we typically require the off-site improvements, the street improvements to go along with it. We recognize that it's not very efficient to construct a street for an ag buffer. So we came up with a couple different solutions for the applicant to consider. First would be to construct Denton Street as the code requires, which is half plus 12. That's what the Public Works report says. Another alternative would be to amend the tentative plat so that the buffer it ends coincidentally with phase 3, so it would end really where the black line is, or the black arrow rather. And then the rest of it would just be absorbed into the reserve acreage tract and developed and dedicated as development marches north. And then the third option would be just to record a deed restriction, basically that commits the owner or future owner of Tract K so that they're aware that they're going to be obliged to construct dedicate and construct 100% of Denton Street as it marches north. So those are the three options. We have talked to the applicant about it, and they're aware of that issue. It's a matter of practicality. And I did structure the conditions so that they don't have to decide tonight, but they do need to decide before they submit public improvement plans. Otherwise, we could be reviewing the wrong thing. And then finally, I wanted to address the proposed pedestrian path that the applicant had talked about in their findings in Tract J. We anticipate a ped path running from Springbrook up to the open space near the ag buffer at the end of Denton Street. It is typical to make your improvements for land that's adjacent to the area that you're developing. So we did include a condition requiring the construction of that path prior to final plat for this phase. Moving on, I wanted to share the slope map. Don't be confused by this. This was an earlier design where they were going to access the lots on Springbrook from behind. The warmer the colors are, the more steep the land is. So the red is between 40 and 50% slopes. The green on the bottom is about a 5% slope. So it is really quite steep. And even the blue is about up to about 15%, so it's quite steep. So not using that access made quite a bit of sense. So the access solution was to share driveways off Springbrook for those 8 lots, and actually 10 on the west side of Springbrook. There are 2 lots. The lot adjacent to the north is served by a flag, so these 2 lots will also share a driveway onto Springbrook. And that is permissible as Springbrook is a collector street. Part of our work as we're developing out these urbanization plans is to keep track of the land uses and make sure that they're developing as they're supposed to. The 39 lots that are proposed do meet the density standards for the SFR 4 and 6 zones that are proposed, so that's fine. As far as you know, this is the second application we've had for this 200-acre MD2 2B. So there's more to come, plenty of land that's available still to develop out. As you're aware, all of the expansion areas were required to produce a minimum of 6.6 dwelling units to the acre. Right now, we're at the 4 per acre range. You can see phases 1 and 2 was 4.4. Phase 3 is right at 4. We are well aware that as we move to the flatter land that we expect higher densities, and then we suspect that some of the required units will be provided via some multifamily in future phases. Turning to the zone change, as I mentioned, Tract F on the west side of the property is proposed to be zoned community commercial. It's 11.7 acres per the surveyor. The yellow area on the top here is proposed to be zoned SFR 6, and it's 6.5 acres. And this bottom little blob that runs along Springbrook is proposed to be SFR 4, and it's 3.2 acres. So if you're curious, this is what that looks like, what the zoning will look like on that plat. So those 8 lots on the east side of Springbrook with a slope are the ones that are zoned SFR 4. And then tracks J, K, and L will retain that SFR 00 zoning district. So returning then to the approval criteria for the land division, the commission can find that the proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan, the urbanization plan, and the development standards in Articles 4 and 5. The applicant owns the bulk of the property in MD2B. Access will be provided to the adjoining properties as shown on the tentative plat and the urbanization plan. The name is required to be approved by the county surveyor prior to recordation of the final plat. The streets are laid out consistently with the approved urbanization plan. No private streets are proposed in this subdivision, and there is adjoining EFU land to the east. And in the record, there is an agricultural analysis that was prepared, and mitigation was proposed, and conditions included. So you can find that the subdivision approval criteria have been satisfied. For the zone change, the applicant did prepare a traffic impact or transportation impact analysis. There were conditions included in the Public Works Department staff report that include a trip cap, improvements to Crater Lake Avenue and Kingsley Drive, and the realignment of the old Crater Lake Avenue intersection with the new alignment of Crater Lake Avenue. The proposed zones are consistent with their respective general land use plan map designations, so you can find that the first criterion has been satisfied. For the second criterion, there are no locational standards for the SFR 4 and 6 zones, but there is for the community commercial zone. CC requires a minimum of 3 acres in frontage on an arterial or collector street. Tract F is 11 acres and it fronts on Crater Lake Highway, which is an arterial, so that second criterion has been satisfied. And finally, the agency comments received and included in the record demonstrate that there will be adequate facilities, infrastructure available to serve the development at the time of vertical construction. So with that, staff is recommending approval. My motion that I published was quite vague, so I apologize for that. We are asking that you direct staff to prepare the final order and include exhibits A1 through T, so A1 being the revised conditions, Public Works revised report as N1, and the revised fire department report as P-1. And that's all that I had for you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to take your questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir. Your microphone, please.
I was just going to ask, so the condition where they have to extend Crater Lake Avenue up to the easterly extension of Kingsley, on the first map that where you show phases 1 and 2, I think it's called, it looks like it's going, the extension is going to go through tract H. Is it going to be going beyond what's shown there in the, on the, no, the other one is good.
Yeah, this is a better because
Okay.
it's a little bit wider.
All right.
So this is phase 1 and 2 is in this area down here, and this is Springbrook. So Crater Lake Avenue comes up along here, and then Kingsley is this one. Nope, north. Sorry, thank you. Kingsley is the north one, so Crater Lake Avenue will be connected to Kingsley.
Okay, and so that's going to happen with phase 3, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That was a result of the TIA, and I think also fire required a second point.
Okay. And then one other question in the new report for the fire department, that they're calling for, and I don't understand what this is, the secondary access with remoteness. What does that mean?
Sure. So, and it's not dissimilar from building where they use a diagonal where you have 2 points that can't be any closer than like half the distance. I don't understand the math. But the result is that they need to have a turnaround here at Denton.
Okay. That's all they need is to put a turnaround at the end at the northern terminus there.
Right. Because how Crater Lake comes up into Kingsley, that solves the issue for phases 1 and 2, but because of the remoteness here, it didn't solve the issue for the rest of phase 3.
Okay.
So they just need a turnaround, was my understanding, and I'm confident that Mr. Stevens can explain that much better than I did.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, any questions on this way? Just out of idle curiosity, so they're chipping away at the number of housing units that is required for this. What happens if they get to the end and they're short of housing units? Does the last project get?
That's why we keep track.
Okay,
That's the whole point. I mean, we have this plan that tells us how the thing's going to develop out, and we have numbers here that tell us how many units they're expected to produce. So that's the point of keeping track as we go, because it would be really terrible if we come to the last, acre and find out they have to have 200 more units.
yeah. It would be terrible.
That would be really awful. I would feel very bad for Clark if we had to do that to him.
For the
So
last person in, yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Well, then, we will open the public hearing and ask the applicant or their agent to come forward and talk about the project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Clark Stevens with Richard Stevens and Associates. We're located at 244 South Grape Street here in Medford, Oregon, representing Skyview Estates, Phase 3, with the zone change and subdivision applications for this project. As staff has mentioned, we're in compliance with Section 10.204 for change of zoning. We've completed the traffic study, and we've mitigated any impacts with connection with Kingsley and Crater Lake Avenue, those extensions. So there's actually will be 2 ways in and out of the project. We're in compliance with Section 10.202 for a subdivision for meeting all the minimum densities and lot standards. And then to emphasize, let's say, the fire question or the secondary access, that triangle, there's actually, we're going to have to put in the secondary access at this location, and it's going to have to tie over into over here because of 2 ways in and out. The original condition for phases 1 and 2 was at this point, but then again, because of the 150-foot maximum, you know, they were requesting a better point, and Kelly was correct in that, yes, we will have to provide a turnaround at this location. But that secondary point out was to eliminate this first one and then redirect it over here to have a second way out. So I hope that's more clear. We've also addressed the agricultural buffering standards in Section 10.802, and we are, I guess, in agreement with the conditions of approval for having 3 options with that. I'm not sure why we need a public street for an ag buffer, but we'll discuss that with staff and come up to a resolution with that. So with the conditions of approval as presented to you this evening, we are in agreement with those, and including those 3 options that are before you. With that, I'd like to conclude and also thank staff and Public Works in this interesting project. So with that, I'll conclude and be happy to answer any further questions.
Thank you. Any questions of, I guess you're off the hook. So,
Should I reserve time for rebuttal?
can if you want.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Roenfeld's in the audience.
Yeah,
so
we never know. Yeah, he might want to have, he might want to, or Doug might have something to say too. Yeah, he's always ready. Okay, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak regarding this application? All right, not seeing anybody. Any additional comments from staff?
No, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Okay, then we will close the public hearing. And do we have a motion for consideration?
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the findings as recommended by staff and direct staff to prepare the final order for LDS-25-117 and ZC-25-176 per the staff report dated July 17th, 2025, including Exhibits A1 through T, including the revised conditions of approval as Exhibit A1, the revised Public Works report as Exhibit N1, and the revised Fire Department report as Exhibit P1.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this item? Okay, not seeing any. Amanda, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. McManus,
Yes.
Mr. Besco,
Yes.
Mr. McKechnie,
Yes.
Mr. Culberson,
Yes.
Mr. Wallen,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
We have 6 yeses.
Thank you. Motion passes. Good luck with your project. And that concludes tonight's public hearings. Moving on to item 60, presentation of reports. Mr. Pulver, Transportation Commission.
Yeah, we met yesterday. It was actually kind of a lively meeting. The 2 things that were the action items anyway, there was a transportation facility application from the city on Edwards Street, the north side of Edwards Street, kind of behind Kids Unlimited. It wasn't a big deal. We were just talking. They have a little shortage of right of way, I think is the right way to describe it. And so they're trying to figure out where to cut from. But anyway, not a big deal. I think that'll go forward. And then something that will eventually come to us, I don't know if it was local developers or who was kind of driving it, but anyway, they're going to proposing some modifications to the driveway code, so on arterials and collectors, and kind of the spacing and requirements for cross access and different things of that nature. So it'll be coming before us before too long, and especially for those of you that are in that world, it's a good thing to kind of study and try to wrap your brain around. But I think the public parties that were involved in crafting it like it. So to be coming to you soon.
All right, thank you. Site Plan and Architectural Commission, Mr. Thomas.
I apologize, but I was not at the last SPAC meeting, so maybe Kelly has some.
Okay. Planning Department, and Ms. Aiken, you can tell us about both, I suppose.
I will. I'll do double duty. Thank you again, Kelly Aiken still. So site plan architecture last week, we had 4 items. We had 1 continuance. So I'll go down the list. So we had Harbor City and Ollie's East at North Phoenix and Hillcrest on the southeasterly corner. There are a couple different restaurants. Pizza and coffee is what they are. So
cool.
site plan approved that. They also approved the backyard community food court. That one is between Central and Riverside. It's a food court. It's one of the few food courts that we have. And it's been an ongoing code enforcement issue. So they finally made it before SPAC, and we came up with some good solutions for them. So they will be moving towards compliance, which is great. They had a continuation from Access up on the north end of town at Cardinal, so we'll be hearing that at their next meeting. And then the one that was actually most exciting, and it's so funny because I didn't expect to have a whole bunch of public comment on an exception to setbacks for a single-family home. We had 4 or 5 people come and testify. It was quite lively. So the commission did end up approving the request. It's a really interesting lot. It's at the end of a minimum access easement, and it was interesting. But if you were interested in a very unusual public hearing, that's a good one to watch, is last week's SPAC meeting.
Kelly, what was the location on the first one? The pizza coffee thing, I think you said.
It's at North Phoenix and Hillcrest. It's right across from Roxanne Winery on the south side of Hillcrest, east of North Phoenix.
Oh.
They're doing that medical development.
Next door to the
stuff.
medical building?
It's in that open
Yeah.
lot, right, as you
Ah.
get to.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Has drive-through. They have space for food trucks, some outdoor seating, a little grass area for the kids to roll around after they eat their
Okay.
pizza. It's pretty neat.
Sounds good.
You know that's what happens. Right. Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. There we go. I can just see some roadkill happening there, but.
Aye, let's hope not. So I think at our last meeting, I was able to introduce Kate Harper to you. She's one of our interns, and we're happy to have her with. I also wanted to introduce Layla Gross. She's here with us today. She may look very familiar. She's like a mini me. She looks, I met her for the first time. I'm like, I know who your mom is. Kate and Layla have been doing a really great job. They've been catching up on scanning and doing some other stuff for us, and it's so helpful. So welcome to them. Let's see, what do we have? So your next study session on Monday, we have a study session for you. We're going to be talking about the downtown plan. We had a draft released to staff just yesterday. I haven't had a chance to take a peek at it yet, but know that there's going to be some beefy stuff in there for you. The other thing that I wanted to let you know about was, you'll remember a few months ago, we had a code amendment move through about a membership of the Site Plan and Architectural Commission, where we wanted to change one of the members, remove the requirement to have a landscaper. So the City Council did ultimately accept your recommendation, but as they approved the ordinance, what they did was said, oh, you should really have considered reducing the number of members. So that's moving through again. We are not planning to bring it to you as another study session. You already studied it. So just expect it at hearing. And if you have questions as you see it, please feel free to reach out to staff. We're happy to chat with you about that. It does go to Site Plan and Architectural Commission as a study session next Friday. So it's moving through relatively quickly. We do have business scheduled for your, I'm sorry.
On that
Yeah,
on that topic, did they have a recommendation on the number of people it should be reduced to?
I think 7 is their magic number, so it would be
Okay.
removing 2.
Okay.
Let's see. Business, we have business for your next 3 meetings, so August 14, so you have a couple weeks between meetings. We have 5 weeks in July. August 14, August 28, and September 11, so we're scheduled out that far already. At City Council, last week, City Council voted to increase fees for a couple departments, but specifically to planning. They're moving towards current planning being 100% fee funded. So our fees are going to increase by about 10% August 1st. So increase in the planning commission or planning department fees. Next week.
Does that mean we get a raise too?
Yes,
Better lunches?
yes. We're going to get you a double cheeseburger instead of a single cheeseburger. In aligning with the city council's goal to reduce the number of commissions and committees that we serve, we are recommending consolidating our Housing Advisory Commission with our CSCC, Community Services and Development Commission. So merging those two together to the HCDC, and you know, that just cries out for a theme song. It runs in my head every time I see it. So, that's up at council next week. And then also the vacation of Third and Apple that you heard, I think, last meeting for Mira's project. And I think, boy, that was a lot of words tonight. I think that's all that I have, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions? Yes.
So I just had one, like, on the 14th, just with what we continued, it's going to be a massive packet. How much more is going to be on there, do you know?
On the 14th, we have, I think there's 4. Let's see, we have
3 from tonight.
we have Harrison Hills and Ponderosa that continued from tonight.
That we have
And the vacation, which may or may not go.
Okay.
And then we have the downtown plan. So we have the 3 land use hearings and then 1 for the downtown plan. So it shouldn't be terrible.
Well, that would be fine. I just, there was a meeting, I don't know how long it was, but that lasted, it wasn't the time that it lasted. It was just that I don't believe anybody on this board really got through that whole packet because it was 1,000 pages.
Right.
And so at some point, I just don't think we're prepared like you would want us to be prepared. And I just feel if we just jam them too full, we're not serving the public.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we don't control the clock.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but
sometimes
I would almost tell the applicants, that's going to,
It's a big, and we do that, yeah. I come from the land of 15-item public hearings, so 3 and 4 is not terrible. But that is a problem, and I totally agree. But I do encourage you, especially when we have, and we've been producing really big packets, is just to read the staff report. We try to keep them, down to a dull roar. And I think we do a pretty decent job of discussing the issues. So instead of having to read all the background material, unless you feel like you need to, but I do encourage you to read the staff report if you're not able to do any more than that. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, messages and papers from the chair. Nothing from me. Remarks from the city attorney.
Nothing?
Propositions and remarks from fellow commission members.
so,
Nothing here?
and
Whoop.
I apologize.
Oh,
Bringing this up, and it's not staff's issue, obviously, but as we sit here and outside of the meeting and talking about, how we have housing and affordable housing or just housing in general pencil, and how do we continue to provide what's needed for the community, and then I hear that, fees are going up 10%. I just wonder, we'll have all these commissions and all these discussions at city council about, we got to have more housing, more affordable housing as we're raising fees. It just doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, I understand it's got to be paid for, but at some point, we're not going to get the outcome we want if we just keep charging more and more.
certainly agree with that. Okay, if nothing else, then we are adjourned.